So we're talking about instability and mental deficits, and I think Knowles is the perfect person.
I am right fit for this segment.
the star, the heartthrob star of Another Kingdom, which is winding up to the end of the show.
That is, we're almost at the end. Now I'm certain this is the last role I'll ever get in Hollywood. I got in some trouble for making fun of the Golden Globes last night.
You were under fire big time.
I was under fire. This was unbelievable. A lot of Hollywood stars with the blue check marks, they would begin a conversation by insulting me. Then I would be respectful and we would talk, and then they would end the conversation and then block me.
It's kind of like our relationship.
I think that's what Hollywood is doing to all of America.
They're like Jake Tapper. They want to put their fingers in their ears.
That's absolutely what they're doing. Yeah. So you'll have to tune into Another Kingdom. Truly, it's the last time I'll ever get to perform. It is wrapping up. We're now at the most exciting part.
Yep.
And it gets pretty gory and a lot of things that even I didn't expect as I was performing this. I'd have to take a break and say, oh, wait a minute, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, just 2 episodes left. Very, very exciting. It's been a delight. I hope we do another one next year. It's now this year. I hope we do another one this fall, because I just had a great time doing it.
Also, if the films and product that were being awarded at the Golden Globes are any indication, I think we're putting out the best art in Hollywood of the year. So.
And not only that, and we do it without abusing any women, because we can't get any women come near us.
That's true. That's true.
So you did watch the Golden Globes. I mean, give me a quick rundown.
It was truly. I always say that I'm a martyr. I'm taking this on so you don't have to watch it. Yeah. This was the single most insufferable award show I have ever seen in my life.
Amazing.
During this award show, as Hollywood lays in ruins, as these people's reputations are as ruins, as we have photos of Oprah kissing Harvey Weinstein, Meryl Streep kissing Harvey Weinstein. Oh, love you, hugs and kisses. They're all exposed as assailants and enablers and lecherous monsters.
True. Yeah.
They get up on stage and lecture us. They lecture Donald Trump. They lecture America and regular people, in that little sliver between New York and LA. It was, the sanctimony increased. The smugness somehow increased. There was only one good line I thought of the night where they asked Denzel Washington on the red carpet, they said, so, is this the moment Hollywood's going to change? And he said, yeah, we'll see about that. The most down-to-earth guy in town.
I mean, it is absurd. You know what it kind of is, though? It's kind of feminizing everything in the worst possible way. I mean, if you said our culture was becoming feminine and that it was becoming more nurturing or kinder or something like that, that would be great. But what it really is the way women, when they get irrational, just think that their feeling state is sacred. And you say, like, that's not actually happening. Well, that's the way I feel. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an entire culture that thinks the way they feel is the truth.
This was the essence of Oprah's speech. She said, you have to speak your truth.
Yeah.
Your truth. It was really amazing. Yeah, nasty women cannot be glamorous. And so they've taken these shows that used to be glitzy and glamorous. That's the only reason anyone would watch, is to see people dripping in diamonds be sort of elegant on a stage, and they've replaced it with screaming political activists, and worked out really well for CNN, or for ESPN rather.
Yes,
so
and
keep
the
it
NFL.
up, Golden Globes.
The NFL worked well too.
Yep.
So meanwhile, now we're supposed to believe that because this guy wrote a book that everybody acknowledges is untrue, that Donald Trump is nuts. And one of the things that got me, I talked about this last week, is that he says in the book, or he said in an article, that Donald Trump keeps repeating himself and is kind of demented. But we see Donald Trump virtually every day. He talks to the press off the cuff. He never does that stuff.
Well, you believe your lying eyes over CNN? Is that what you're saying? That's so prejudicial.
Jake Tapper would throw me off his show for that.
He would. Okay. You made your good point for the only one. Oh my God. I know. I'm sorry to meander into the media so much here, but that interview was so glib and so smug and so smarmy. He might as well have been at the Golden Globes.
Is this a new thing, though? Is it a new thing for people to say the president is nuts?
This attack comes back time and time again. People kind of forget this, I think, because we have this hindsight of Ronald Reagan. Everybody loved Ronald Reagan. He was this great unifying figure. Obviously, in retrospect, the last Republican is always a great guy. It's only the new Republican who's awful. But it always comes back to Yale, all of this craziness. And there was that Yale psychiatrist who said that Donald Trump is so crazy he could lead to the extinction of the human race.
He's a stable guy.
He's a
Was he
stable
dressed
genius,
as a
if you ask
vagina
me.
when he said that?
But this harkens back to the Goldwater rule. So during Barry Goldwater's run for the president, there were over 1,000 psychiatrists who signed a little petition saying that he was mentally unstable to run for office. And this has happened time and time again. With Ronald Reagan, first of all, his party was against him. In 1984, the RNC had a little sticker on one of their office doors that said, sign up for the 1984 Bush for President campaign. A survey in 1976 found that 90% of Republican state chairmen judged Reagan to be simple-minded.
Wow.
He had, that he had no experience in foreign affairs, no depth in government administration. Sound familiar? There was a study in 1980 that of 475 national and state Republican chairmen, they found they preferred Bush. One state chairman said that Reagan's intellect was thinner than spit on a slate rock. That's just the Republicans who said this.
That's what the
about him.
Republicans talking about, yeah.
He was mocked repeatedly for being senile, out of his mind, because he confused Pakistan with Afghanistan. He once said that trees contributed 93% of the world's nitrous oxide. He said there was more oil in Alaska than in Saudi Arabia, which we're about to find out now that we're drilling in Anwar, so the jury's still out. The Evening Independent ran a piece about him in 1984. It said, who will show up, the Gipper or the Geezer? The same stumbling, often incoherent Reagan seen in the Louisville debate. A geriatric actor. Even if he finesses Sunday's test, there is a disquieting question. Have his image makers been hiding the genuine Reagan?
Wow.
They would play up little jokes. Michael Deaver, Ronald Reagan himself would make jokes about falling asleep in cabinet meetings.
Right.
And they would play this up as gospel truth. And it's, it's gone on and on and on. So they said this about Quayle.
Yeah, Quayle was stupid.
Quayle, George H.W. Bush's vice president,
Right.
who now everyone says is a perfectly smart, normal guy.
Right.
They said he was a mental midget, incapable of the duties of the office. During the 2004 race, John Kerry accused George W. Bush of being so stupid that he bogged us down in war. He said, when you get bad grades, you end up in Iraq. All of these constant attacks, why do they do it? Why do they? You'll notice when you look in the mainstream media, Trump's an idiot, Bush is an idiot, even Bush 1, kind of an incompetent, Reagan's an idiot, so on and so forth.
They used to say this about Eisenhower, by the way.
They said it about Eisenhower.
who won World War II. I mean, what do you have to do before you get your smart card from the Democrats?
But what about all the Democrats? Obama, genius.
Genius.
Bill Clinton, a genius.
Yeah.
Even Jimmy Carter, he's not a peanut farmer. He's a physicist. He was too smart for the office. That's why he was so incompetent.
Yeah.
So why do they do it? It's because they've run out of arguments. So we've seen them try a few different arguments on Trump. We've seen him try that he is only in it for the rich. He's only helping the rich. That's what this whole tax bill was about. But turns out that the vast majority of Americans are getting a good tax cut here. That one didn't work. He's going to he's got a sticky finger. He's going to attack every people, launch missiles all over the world. That didn't happen. He's handled foreign affairs pretty well. When they can't engage in the debate, when they can't debate politics or political philosophy, they have to turn the conservative point of view from a coherent political philosophy into a weird psychological tick and twitch that has to be corrected through medicine and science rather than engaging with the actual content of that philosophy.
What's shocking too is that you watch. I mean, I was sampling, CNN all through the weekend and the CBS. I mean, George Stephanopoulos actually said even if 50% of this book is true, it raises serious questions. And I thought, actually, if 50% of the book is true, the only question is why are we talking about it? Because who knows which 50% it is? I mean, that's absurd. If you write a book that's 50% false, you're to be ignored. I mean, right? That's not a book that's worth talking about. Why is it? I mean, there's nobody on these shows, not one person who said, you say this every time. Mm-hmm. They did say Eisenhower was stupid. I mean, if you're a Republican, you're either stupid or evil. Right. I mean, that's one of the things. So like Nixon was evil. No one called Nixon stupid. He was evil. So Eisenhower was stupid. Truman, they even said this about Truman, and Truman was a Democrat, but he was kind of on the conservative side. But every single Ford, remember Ford, Chevy Chase falling down, tripping all over the place on Saturday Night Live. Why does nobody come out and just say, you do this every time.
Well, I think the American people have begun to realize that. I think that's why people are tuning out. It's why Stephen Miller was able to kind of make a mockery of Jake Tapper, and Jake Tapper, it became a mean girl. You know, he said, this is my show, wah, wah, wah. And because you do see it every time. You see Dick Cheney. No one thought he was stupid, so he had to be evil. George W. Bush wasn't evil, so he had to be stupid.
Yeah.
And it's because if you stand in the way of progress, if you stand in the way of a utopian vision, a progressive vision, there are only two explanations of that. The future is so clear. We've seen the future and it works, as communist apologists used to say.
That's right.
The only two reasons that you would impede progress are because you have bad intentions or you are breathtakingly stupid. And they couldn't consider the possibility on the left that people just disagree with them and there might be other solutions than the ones that they've thought about. They welcome all diversity of opinion until anybody disagrees with them, and then they're shocked and appalled.
What's on the show today?
So today we're going to be giving out a lot of awards. We're going to be talking about how nasty women can't be glamorous. We're going to talk about the terrible performances last night, all the way from Oprah to Jake Tapper, and a new segment. I just mentioned the title. I call it Jake Tapper, Mean Girl.
All right. Michael Knowles, star of Another Kingdom. It's good to talk to you. I'll talk to you later. I was thinking about the death of Europe, the fact that Europe is now no longer a culture and it's been swept through by this influx of immigration. And all the time that this was happening, people were being told that they were insane or bigoted or nasty or cruel if they thought, hey, maybe bringing in 1 million people such that, like, the city of London is no longer a majority English city anymore. Maybe that's something we want to think about. Maybe we want to talk about it. Maybe we want to say, hey, these people can come in, but they have to adhere to certain rules, or they have to believe in certain things. All these elites told us that we were fools to even think about this. And now Europe is basically being wiped off the face of the earth simply by immigrants, simply by people who don't believe what European people believe. And it has nothing to do, as far as I'm concerned, it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with creed. It has to do with what you believe. So these guys, these experts, it's like they're not very smart. These smart people, they're not very smart. And they basically shut down debate, so that by calling you stupid, by calling you evil, they shut down debate so that they never have to make the point. They never have to make their argument because their argument is so bad.